Ahoy VC, welcome to the Personal Oasis. This is the Blind Island. Today we're going to be taking a look at a record, doing a review, and giving my thoughts and opinions on it. And I want to preface this review with the fact that this is purely my opinion. I am no authority, and you guys are completely allowed to have your own opinion. In fact, let me know what your opinion is. Maybe it will change mine. Give me some more information, because I love a dialogue. My opinion has been changed in the past, and I like to have it changed in the future. Now, on with the review. Today we are taking a look at a 1967 psychedelic album by the band Clear Light. Now, this record went on to have some moderate success at the time, but it went on to be kind of lost since it didn't sell incredibly well and only had moderate critical success. So let's take a look to see whether or not Clear Light deserved a second album and a third after this one. So let's start off with a little history in regards to this group. They went on to basically form in the San Francisco area. They had some decent success with a couple of their singles, and they went on to release this album, but due to contractual disputes and disputes within the band, they wound up fissuring very shortly after this first album came out. Apparently, they did record enough material for a second album, but those tracks have never been released to the public. It's only been in the past 10 years that Clear Light has kind of started to get new light shed upon them, with people kind of reevaluating this album, seeing what it's like. Many people consider it to be a mix of the sound of Love and The Doors, and when you listen to the music, you can definitely hear the inspiration for why that is. So now that we have a little album background information, let's move into my thoughts and feelings about this record. If I had one thing to say about this album and my feelings toward it, it would be mixed. Like a lot of psychedelic music from the time, there are lots of really interesting ideas that are going on here, but they're not coalescing, they're not forming a cohesive whole. And that isn't just with this group. There are lots of groups out there where they had 3 or 4 really interesting songs on an LP, and then some of the others became a little overwrought, a little overly pretentious, or just too much was trying to be shoved in at the same time. And I think that could be said very much about this record. Some of it dances around the flowery pop of the time, but then it also gets into super scuzzy, dark, psychedelic territory, very similar to even Iron Butterfly and The Doors. I think that there are a lot of great guitar solos on here. There's double drumming that's occurring that really creates this visceral attack that sends shockwaves through your body as you're listening to it at high volumes. But then they really slow it down at some points, and some of the slow ballads work and some of them really don't. And I think that another thing that I don't really feel or vibe in this record is the vocals. It seems like he is really trying to ape a similar style to the lead singer of Love, and it's just not working as well. The times that I really like his vocalization is on a tune called Mr. Blue, which was a folk song by Tom Paxton, and he does this basically monotone delivery of the song until the chorus where he's shouting into the microphone. I love that, but his singing doesn't really do it for me. The lead singer actually went on to have a very successful acting career after this, so I'm glad that he found his true calling, but that isn't really something that does it for me. So now let's get into some album highlights. As far as album highlights are concerned, I think how many days have passed is where that slow, almost romantic vocal works for the group. It is a really nice, flowery ballad, and it makes me feel kind of overjoyed at the thought of this love coming together. It's a strong track, very good pop vocal with a little bit of a psychedelic tinge. Now to get to the good stuff, the really good stuff is the street singer. Dark, heavy, and just this sense of foreboding throughout the entire track. It's very visceral, and I love listening to it. It makes me feel like I'm going crazy, which is what the best psychedelic music really takes. It takes you to a place, and I feel like that song really takes me to a different place. Another track, and my final one that I'm going to talk about, is Mr. Blue. Now, this is going to be a polarizing pick because some people hate the monotone, basically a sing-talk type of vocal delivery. I'm a fan of it. I think that it really captures this cadence of blissed out, stoned vibe where you're just looking at the world and stating how it is. And I feel like it really captures the message behind the tune Mr. Blue very, very well as just that shredding electric guitar solo at the end. It's pure madness. I love it, and while it's not for everyone, I'm going to say that right off the bat, if you're into just hard, dark psychedelia, that tune is definitely for you. So now to give my final thoughts on everything. Basically, this record it's a mixed bag. I really want to give this a higher score than I'm probably going to give it. The songs I enjoy, I really enjoy. I think that they're some of the best psychedelic music of the time. However, the weak tracks are just so bland and forgettable that I feel that's a greater sin than swinging for the fences and failing spectacularly. So I'm gonna have to give this one a 3.5 out of 5. I give it just a slight nudge over 3, but it's not quite enough to make it a classic or an absolute essential in your collection. Copies usually vary in price. I see some copies for the stereo for around $10 to $15. And I would suggest, if you find it for $10, it's definitely worth a pickup, but I wouldn't recommend spending anything over that. It's not really a classic in my mind. So, what do you guys think? Do you think that Clearlight is deserving of a classic status, or are they kind of another psychedelic band, or are they just good? Please let me know down in the comments below, and I hope that you guys have a great day on your own personal oasis. Cheers.